Yikes.
I can listen to it on my computer, but every time I upload it, it has no audio, and I don't know why.
How's it? It's literally an audio podcast.
Yeah, but like only for me.
But like when you, I guess when you upload it, does it show any like file size?
Yeah, it shows the file size, but when you play it from like iTunes, I removed it from iTunes now or from all the streaming because it wasn't working. But if you play it from the hosting site, it just tells you the file's corrupted. So I uploaded it again, and it gives me file size, and it's the same length. And it's like it takes it just fine, like there's a file. You go to play it, and it's like this file's corrupted. And I was like, what? But I can play it I can play it from the recorder. I can play it from the computer. All right, well, no, not from the recorder because it's on the computer. I can play from the computer, no problem. It just won't upload properly, so I'm gonna have to re-record it or something. I don't know. I don't know if it was the update because we recorded last week after the Monterey went on my computer and we recorded fine. The only issue I was having was the computer decided it wanted to update while we were recording. But I recorded since then with Monterey and it worked fine. So I don't know what happened Tuesday night, but it just didn't work. So
Unless there's some sort of like bit rate or something got changed that just the hosting site doesn't like, maybe.
I don't know. Everything seems to be this. The settings were the same because I still used GarageBand and it's just the default settings. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird because
Or maybe the hosting site's just having an issue.
yeah, because I did another one. I recorded like 30 seconds of audio, and then uploaded it, and it played it just fine.
Oh, so it really is. It's just that file. It just
Yeah,
doesn't like it.
something happened. Something's weird with that file, and I don't know how to fix it. So I said, "Fuck it, I'll just re-record it. It's not that big of a fucking deal." But that's neither here nor there. Tosh, from that angle, it looks like you're flaring your nostrils.
It looks what?
It looked like you were flaring your nostrils, like you're super mad.
I'm just black.
Well, I didn't say that.
It's always the same nostrils.
Dang, that's messed up.
I mean, you're not disagreeing because you know it's true.
What are you doing right now?
Who?
What am I doing right now? Sorry, I'm setting you down like so.
Abruptly, by the way, it sounds.
Yeah, well, you know. How do I sound? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Is Mike joining?
I opened the news app on my computer, realizing I'm going to tax this internet real bad in this here hotel.
And that news really taxes things.
It's because it updates all that shit in the background and blah, blah, blah. So I got to use the old iPesia secondary screen. Excuse me while I move my Xbox controller out of the way.
Yeah, I saw you online earlier.
Yeah, I was playing the Destiny on the terrible Wi-Fi here.
Of course you were. Why wouldn't you be playing Destiny?
I can't play Far Cry because you know why?
No.
They pushed out an update, and the Xbox won't update it here because the internet's too slow. So it won't let me play it because the update's trying to go in. So it's like, hey, finish the update, and then you can play. I'm like, I can't finish the update because the goddamn internet sucks here.
That sucks.
Yep.
Goddamn internet.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Goddamn jets.
Goddamn
Are you in the same hotel room that you were last time?
No, we're in a
Or
different
not
hotel.
the same hotel room, but same hotel, I should say.
Different hotel.
Different hotel.
We're
You're
in
a different hotel.
we're in La
That is
Quinta.
true.
La Quinta Inns and Suites or Suites and Inns or whatever the fuck this place is called.
La Quinta?
Yeah, La Quinta. It's not bad. It's the internet is like I can stream stuff, no problems. I talked to Paige for a while on the old Facey times the other night, or 2 nights in a row. Works fine. But for some reason, like if your device is trying to do multiple things, the internet just shits on it. Yeah, just takes a hot fucking crap.
Is the La Quinta Inn anything like the La Quint Dickey Mining Company?
No, I don't think so.
Because, you know,
No.
they fucked you up with Quint Dickey. According to...
Sure. Unsaved story. I had some stuff to talk about. That's not
I don't
good
have
though.
anything.
Well, hopefully you find it because I didn't really pull anything this week. There's really nothing in the news that I really cared about. Um,
I
I've
don't
been
care.
mostly playing Metroid Dread.
How you liking it, buddy?
It's a love-hate relationship.
Some of
Definitely,
You,
definitely a love-hate relationship.
I heard it's actually pretty difficult.
I mean, it's really not that difficult. There are points in time when you're fighting off those EMMI robots that they're they're instant kills. So if you get caught, you have two opportunities to be able to parry their attacks, and if you miss them, which they're literally split second quick time events, it's an instant kill. It doesn't uh, hurt you that bad. Basically, when you come back, you just restart from whatever door you entered that area into.
Like mini save point or whatever.
Yeah, like if you shut the console down, like it'll go back to your last save point, but at least if you get killed by the EMMI, it'll put you back at the door that you went into that area through. So it's forgiving, but it is fucking annoying at times to fight those things. Luckily, I'm at the point where I'm literally end game right now. Uh, so the problem that I'm having right now is, at least with Metroid games, I like to collect everything. And they have put some energy upgrades and missile upgrades behind some really, like, there are people that out there that can do this stuff really well. Uh, I'm not one of them.
That's fair.
There are these little puzzles. They call them puzzles. Like they're not really like, you know, move things around type puzzles and try and figure things out. They're more of like, okay, I have to use the speed boost ability in order to activate the shine spark ability in order to bust through these walls. But the thing is that you have to activate so like the one I was trying today for like a half an hour before I was like, this is no longer fun. I'm giving up. Uh, you have to activate the shine spark in one area, run, drop down to the second area, drop down again, go through a door, go under a little hole, drop down, shoot these blocks. As you're dropping down, activate the shine spark, shoot left, run up a speed run up a hill, re-get the shine spark from that speed run, uh, slide underneath a protrusion, drop down. Then you have to shine spark over to the right side, run up this hill again in order to activate the shine spark again, and then drop down, and then you can hit the shine spark speed boost through these blocks in order to get an energy upgrade. But it is like split second timing and button hitting that you don't really do in the rest of the game. You don't really practice in the rest of the game in order to be able to accomplish these things. So it's like, I fucking hate it.
Sounds like a
I
lot of
hate
fun.
it that I want to collect all this stuff because that's what I do in the Prime games. I went through and collected all the energy tanks, all the missile upgrades, and stuff like that. And it is so frustrating that I know what I need to do, and I just because everything is spaced out because you only have the shine spark for like a limited amount of time. I don't know how long it is. It's like 10 seconds or something like that, let's say. So everything is spaced out to just be able to activate the shine spark, and also just spaced out for that you right when you're about to lose it is when you have to regain it again. It was fucking awful.
Sounds like a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's all extra stuff. I could literally move on to the final boss, I believe, right now, and finish the game. This is again just extra stuff that I can collect and try and be more powerful. You know, I already have like 180 missiles, but 200 missiles or more would be a lot better to have at any given time. I have somewhere around 9 energy tanks, but 10 or more would be even more fun to have in the final battle. Whatever, I digress. But otherwise, it's a fun game. It doesn't really tell you a whole lot. Like the story is literally just like you get a little bit at the beginning because this is literally a sequel to Fusion, and then you really don't get any other whole lot of other story until like halfway through the game, where it just like story dumps all over you, and then you don't really get a whole lot of story again after that.
It just
Uh,
sprays story all over your face.
it just sprays story all over the face, neck, and chest at that point in time.
That
Just
sounds
all
awful.
over.
Just dripping with story.
Ugh.
And there are moments in time, and this is, I guess you could say this is kind of like with most Metroid games, where for the most part, the design of like where to go and how to get things is fairly straightforward. But there were times where I would literally get this power up, and I'd be like, okay, I don't fucking know where to go now. So I'm just going to wander around until I find something. And then eventually, like an hour later, I'd have to look something up because I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that in order to progress in this game, I have to shoot that one block that looks like every other wall around here in order to progress the game. Kind of, kind of sucked. Once I figured that out, though, you just shoot everything. Missiles, just hitting walls, just shooting it with your charge beam and stuff, just to see if it breaks and if you can go through the wall and proceed with the rest of the game. Otherwise, it's still a pretty fun game. You find your list of things you want to talk about?
Yeah. So the article I just sent you, Joe, is that one electric vehicle I was telling you about the other day. I think I texted it. I don't know if it went through or not.
Lucid Motors. Yeah, it went through while I was
Okay.
talking, but I
Yeah.
figured,
I didn't want to talk about that on the. We can talk about that on the podcast, but that's I just, I thought it was. We were talking about the other day. And I wanted you to read it so you could read what I was talking about because I know I butchered some of those numbers and things and stuff or whatever. No, not YouTube. I don't know how to use technology. Apparently, there we go. Okay. Oh, but it's because the article I had a link to a YouTube video, and it decided to open it. Okay, sorry. So I also sent this news article to Joe too because he's read the Hyperion books, or at least the first one, right?
I've read the first two.
First two. All right. So a movie adaptation is finally coming to the big screen, starring Joe's favorite doppelganger, Bradley Cooper.
Really?
Yep.
I mean,
Interesting.
I'll see it.
I was very happy about
Hopefully
it.
you'll enjoy it. Maybe watching the movie will actually make sense. But I suppose who's it? Who's the production company? Is it the same one as Dune?
It's his production company.
Oh, it's his production company.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
he must be a fan of Hyperion then.
Yeah. I was trying to read it again because I forgot the stuff. Because apparently Hyperion was set the last time it was set to be an adaptation of anything was a TV project for Sci-Fi, and we know how well those do sometimes without
That's
a shit ton
impossible.
of
It's
money.
much like Dune. You can't. That's the type of book that you can't just put it on some shitty service that's not going to be able to put the money into it to give it any type of justice because much like Dune or really even like Battlestar Galactica, although they did pretty decent CG wise with Battlestar Galactica, but there's a lot to it that you can't just throw a low budget at it in order to do.
Yeah.
You can, but it's going to turn out like shit.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but that's interesting. Any other information like Bradley Cooper's production company? Is he going to star in it?
It says here that he's that it looks like he's going to, but right now it's just says that he's going to produce it with his new company or his new production label that he has. But because I guess apparently he had a 6-year production deal with Todd Phillips and Warner Brothers, and it ended in 2019. And so now he moved on. He actually created his own company, and so he has free reign to do whatever he wants, wherever he wants. And he probably has money to do it, so that helps a lot.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's funny because like I think this probably ramped up due to the success of Dune, because they're very not. I don't want to say similar books, but similar sci-fi ish,
There's
outlandish.
similar genres, yes.
Yeah,
Hard sci-fi.
alien worlds, and I know there's like boats that travel on sand and shit, right, or something. I don't remember. I remember reading about it. I never read the first book. I think I actually bought it and never read it because Joe's like, it's not terrible. I'm like, ooh, that's not good.
That's how you sell it right there.
Yep, Joe's good at
That's
that.
how you sell it. And then you read the second book and you still don't really fully understand what's going on because it's about a pilgrimage. And the first book is really just a book about the 6, I want to say, different perspectives of each pilgrim and why they're on the pilgrimage to see the Shrike. And you don't even really get a full understanding what the Shrike is. It's just, yeah. I would say read it. Try it.
I'll give it a shot.
I'll probably read. I don't even actually remember how many books there are. I'll probably read the third book in it to at least try and get closure on the story. But I have no intention on doing it anytime soon. Because I want to say, like, they did the same thing with that series of books that Dune did, where it's like, yeah, you have a main story, and then you have like a bunch of other shit that they've done after that. I want to say that. I don't really know as I look it up here.
I thought I had. Oh, yeah, it is right there. Why did I think it was written before 1989?
Because it feels like a series that was written around the same time as like The Lord of the Rings, or actually, when was Dune written? Dune was written in like the 60s and 70s. Yeah, so it feels like that it was written around the same time. But no, it was written 89, so literally this is a 90s book series.
There are 4 Hyperion books according to this. And the last one came out in 1997.
Really?
Yep.
What was the 4th one called?
The Rise of I think it's Endomian. I'm not too sure how to say that word because it's a made up thingy. But
what are you looking at here then?
I don't know. I'm looking at the Hyperion Cantos series.
Okay, I was on a different page.
There's four novels and 3 short stories.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I mean. Like they did something similar to Dune, where they have the main series and then they had a couple of spin-off things. I believe it's pronounced Ediminion.
Ediminion, sure, why not?
Yeah, so I read Hyperion and the Fall of Hyperion. The next book would be Ediminion, then the Rise of Ediminion, and then I guess the short story. So there's 4 main books in it.
According to this, Remember Ciri is included almost verbatim in Hyperion. So that's the first short story, which actually came out 6 years before Hyperion, which makes sense that it's in there and all. Anywho, I believe Dune was actually written in 1956. By the way,
it's something like pretty old like that, yeah. But that's what I'm saying with this. When I first started reading this, I literally thought this was written at about the same era as Dune.
Sorry, 1965, 1965 is when Dune was written.
Yeah, but only to find out that this was actually written in late 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. And
yeah.
Like, when did he finish the actual book series?
97.
97. So it's like That's that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of finishing book series, that George R. R. Martin needs to finish his goddamn Game of Thrones book or Story of Ice and Fire.
I was gonna say that. I didn't want to say that here, but if you're gonna mention it, then yeah, this dude here, Dan Simmons, fucking started an epic, space drama thing and finished it in the same amount of time that that fucking Martin started his and still hasn't finished his.
Yep.
Well, the problem is that George R. R. Martin doesn't give a fuck.
No.
And
This is true.
Sweet ass time.
Well, he needs to start giving a fuck so I can finish that fucking series before he keels over.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Right. Speaking of book series, don't we get the last book of The Expanse in December?
Yeah, because it got pushed back from November. I think it was
Yeah.
supposed to be November, but yeah, it's December.
So can't wait for that. Like, it makes me sad because it's ending, but like also happy because it's, a good story.
And they actually get to end it. You know what I mean?
They actually get to end it, right? Which still makes me wonder what they're going to do with the actual show because this is the last season.
Yep. And they got
So-
a lot of stuff to do.
I honestly wonder if they're going to finish the season out. They're not going to end the series. We'll get like movies or something like that in order to end the series, like maybe 2 movies out of it.
I don't know. Actually, Leviathan Falls, November 30th. So, not December, but almost December. Because, like, one day would be December.
Yeah.
But other than that, boom, there you go. And then it has something listed here for March 15th of 2022. It's called Memories Legion, the complete Expanse story collection. I wonder if that's a collection of the short stories. Because it's
Could
only
be.
400 pages.
Memories Legion?
Memories Legion, the complete Expanse story collection. And it can't be all the books because A, that would be ridiculous, and also it's only 400 pages. So I'm guessing it's the novellas.
I don't know how to spell Legion. There it is.
Legion.
Well, it's easy when you're looking at it.
Whatever.
I was helping you spell it. I don't know why that's such a hard thing. Oh, here we go.
Look, man.
The forthcoming 10th book in the Expanse series, Memories Legion. I found an article about it. Will be a collection of all 8 short stories in novellas, except for The Last Flight of the Cassandra, including 1 new novella, which will conclude the series. It will be published March 15th, 2022.
Yeah, so here you get Drive, Butcher of Anderson Station, The Churn, Gods of Risk, The Vital Abyss, Strange Dogs, Oberon, and a brand new novella, which means I have to buy this because I've read all of these except for Drive. I don't recall. Oh, no, wait, Drive was that short story never mind. Yeah, by Andy Weir, right?
That's the one.
That's the one. That was dope. So
Is that
apparently I
one?
still need to buy it because of the brand new novella, but or
Mm-hmm.
unless it's going to be released separately. But all those were really good, like little short stories talking about the characters in the show and expanding upon their past. Like, why was Anderson called the Butcher of Anderson Station? Or not Anderson. Fuck, what was his name? Not Anderson Dawes. I was spacing out his name. I can't remember it now.
Fred
Fred Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah, I was like, it's in there somewhere, brain.
No.
Yeah.
So it says here the only it doesn't include is The Last Flight of the Cassandra. Which one's that one?
That one I don't recognize.
Ugh, what's happening?
First published in 2019. Following the destruction of the Canterbury, Darius and his crew of the Sundivers on the Cassandra realized the cost of prospecting will outweigh their ability to keep up with the demands shipboard life and have to make a tough decision about their future. While prospecting in the Aten asteroids, the crew come across a mystery on G Malo 434 that forces a tough decision. I don't recognize that one. It was published in 2019, it says.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder why it doesn't include that in the that collection.
It's a good question.
Because it has the other one they wrote in 2019. That's very interesting. I don't know, but I will be getting it. So, because I've only read the Butcher, or no, which one did I read?
That.
The Churn. I believe I read that one because it was.
Yeah, the Churn was about how. Wow, it's been so long since I've read about these characters. I'm spacing out on names. What's his name? Got his name. Yeah.
About how what's his name got his name.
Yeah.
You know, like that restaurant with all the food.
Yeah. I'm not. What's weird is I don't see it on Amazon. The Flight of the Cassandra.
The Last Flight of the Cassandra. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, The Last Flight of the Cassandra. Let's see if it's on James S.A. Corey.
Speaking of books, all right. So on Monday after we got off work here in lovely Tucson.
Those two words don't go together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I
lovely
almost threw up
Tucson.
on the microphone. Anyhow, we were driving back to the hotel, and Jess sees a comic book shop. Funny tangent, real quick. She goes, "Oh,
Okay.
it's a comic book shop." I was like, "What's it called?" She's like, "I don't know. It had a rocket ship on it." So we get back to the hotel. I change my shirt, ready to go. I'm looking up for comic shops, and the closest one to us, which happens to be on the street we were just driving down, is called Heroes and Villains Comics. Nowhere is there a rocket ship.
So where'd the rocket ship come from?
Yeah.
So I was wondering the same thing. She's like, I don't know. I saw a rocket ship, and I was like, all right, I don't understand how you saw a rocket ship when there's no rocket ship involved. Anyhow, so we're driving by it today, and one whole block away from it is another sign that has a rocket ship on it. Not a comic book shop.
But a rocket. So at least,
Yep,
It
she
was in the
did.
same, it was within 1 square mile.
She did see
So,
comics and a rocket,
the nerd stuff
just not
must
near each other.
be the same.
Anyhow, so after I was looking for the comic shop, I noticed there was a Bookman's that was close to us, and I haven't been to a Bookman's in a long time. I think the last time Joe and I actually stumbled into one time.
Yeah, that was the last time that I've been in a Bookman's.
But we were going through, and I was like, oh, I'll look for some cool shit. And they had a bunch of cool, like, looking Stephen King stuff. They had, like, a ratty gunslinger paperback that was pretty cool looking. And I was like, oh, I'll look for some other stuff, like some of the stuff, like some Neil Gaiman or some some Expanse books or something. Maybe I'll get lucky and find something cool, right? No Expanse books except for Leviathan, or no, which one was it? Abandon's Gate, I think.
Abaddon's Gate.
Yeah, and it was like a paperback, and there was like a copy of Leviathan Wakes in paperback, and that was it. No Red Rising stuff. There was I couldn't find any Neil Gaiman stuff, no matter what section I went to. And I was like, how am I supposed to find stuff that I want to own physical copies of if I can't find physical copies of what the stuff I want to buy? It's horseshit. But we're going through, and Jessica walks over and goes, hey, there's a lot of nudity in this store. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, there's nudity and like paintings all over the walls. And I was like, no, there's not. Look up. And there's just some old lady's titties just hanging. And there's just a painting of some old lady's titties. And I was like, the fuck is going on? And I just started spotting them everywhere. And I was like, what is happening in this place?
what sex dungeon comic book shop did you just walk
Seriously,
into?
It was just Bookman's, dude. I was like, what the hell is
Oh, it was
this?
Bookman's.
Yeah.
that's that new era Bookman's.
Yeah, so then I was like, oh, I was like, all right, well, whatever. Like, that's cool. So I was like, oh, I bet they have like a case of like rare books or whatever, like, expensive ones. I want to see what they have in there. They had a bunch of crazy old ass Dr. Seuss books that were like a good chunk of change. Like, I think like the super racy ones, the ones you're not supposed to like own or fucking look at directly or something like that. But then there's this one case that had like a satanic Bible in it and some witch stuff. And then right behind the witch stuff was just a book cover with titties on the front of it. And I was like, what is happening here? You guys aren't going to cover this up? There's kids in this store. Bookman's don't give a fuck. Bookman's like,
Yeah,
let them
that's not
see
his deal,
them. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. I ain't fucking.
Let them titties be. That's what Bookman said. Let them titties
Emphasis
be.
on the man's part, apparently.
Well, and there was another book too where this lady's like, and this isn't like a drawing. This is a photo of a lady with her like vagina hanging out. Just like, yeah, like she's just on the, like she looks like she's laying on a bed, titties out, vagina out, just laying there. I was like, you ain't gonna put some like sticky notes over this? Like there's like, what's wrong
This
with
is
y'all?
new age, man.
Bookmans
Man,
don't
get
give a
comfortable.
fuck.
You take your conservative ass out of that Bookman's, sir.
Exactly,
Damn.
right?
I had to go to church and let
Take your
Jesus
Christian
clean
morals
me.
out of that
And
Bookman's.
the whole building came down. What are you trying to kill someone?
What are you trying to say? I'm not holy.
Yep.
Anyways, that's the tangent about books or whatever and nudity in bookstores.
And Bookman's.
So to finish out, I found out why I couldn't find the last flight of the Cassandra on Amazon, because it's not really a book, I guess. So it's apparently a short story that was inside of the Expanse role-playing game rulebook.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, that's right. Because I tried to buy that for you and it was sold out everywhere. So you end up getting a Back to Future game instead. It's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. That was last Christmas for anyone who hasn't.
Yeah, I was like, I already got that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
That's
not a spoiler. It's just a true story.
yeah. It's I was
that's what
I was
that
like
was.
yeah. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get this Expanse game from Joe because he likes that shit. And then everyone was sold out, and the only place I could find it was like $100-something. And I was like, you know what, you can go fuck yourselves.
I don't love Joe that much.
Joe's gonna get a Back to Future game that he's probably never gonna open or play.
Joe's gonna get a stick of gum.
I mean, had a pandemic not happened, and other personal things, maybe we would have had like board game night and stuff like that. I still have the Ghostbusters board game wrapped up here.
I have Mandalorian Monopoly that I have yet to open, and like 90 packs of fucking Uno.
Yeah, but those are collector's items for you.
That's
And
true.
at this pace, we're never gonna record in person again, so you can hold on to that shit.
That's true.
I mean, especially with how much someone works out of the city.
Yeah, some asshole had to go get a nice new job. Never home any.
Wouldn't necessarily call it nice, but
Yeah, but
new
yeah,
job, yes.
I don't know what that nice line was about, but
Well, you get to travel a lot.
yeah, well, that's true. I'll be
Just
home
say,
for
look,
3 whole weeks. 3 whole weeks, fuckers. 3
3
whole
whole
weeks.
Are you banking your hotel points?
Well, when I stay at a Marriott, I am.
Dude, it doesn't matter what the fuck you stay at. Bank all them shits.
Well, yeah.
You should have a membership to every fucking where.
I didn't know we were staying on La Quinta until Thursday
Oh, yeah.
when we got our.
You
hotel
get flight points when you fly?
only on American Airlines, which is going to be impossible now because they're apparently not a company anymore. Or
Well,
don't.
I was gonna say they cancel every fucking flight they book.
Yeah, well, they don't have any pilots that fucking want to fly on planes apparently. But no,
Sounds
yeah,
that.
we can. If you have the Marriott Bonvoy app, I believe it's called, we can add our stays, and then American Airlines, you can add your flight to it, and it'll get you points. But that's about it.
About it.
With the Marriott one, all you have to do is give them your phone number when you check in or out, and it adds it to your shit, even though I don't have to pay for it.
Cool. Free flights eventually, free hotels eventually. Not a bad
Hopefully.
deal. But really don't pay for it to start with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the fucking that's how like they people that travel for work also travel really well for personal shit because they just bank all their shit and
Yeah,
never have to pay for anything. It's ridiculous, which is
yeah,
why I'd like to have a job that I can travel like 40% of the time.
right. Save up enough for the points, and then you can travel for your personal stuff when you take
Hey,
vacation.
Yep. So apparently a crew member on the set of Indiana Jones 5 died.
Yeah, it was natural causes.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah,
I would
he apparently died in his
it's
hotel.
causes.
He didn't get shot by a cast member. That's what he was trying to get at.
Well, yeah, that's what I was like. Oh shit! Like I started reading the article, and it was because that's the article was like fucking clickbaity as hell. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
crew member died on Indiana Jones. Uh, a crew member of Indiana Jones or something like that is found dead or something like that, and then you read it, and it's like, yeah, he found dead in his hotel room of natural causes. The dude was like, I want to say 50 over 50 or something like that. It's like, well, that sucks, but
I
like,
feel like over 50 is not natural causes.
Well, I mean, not being over 50 is natural causes, but he died of natural
but he
causes.
died of
Yeah.
some
It's not like
health
he was a
complication,
27-year-old fucking best boy
yeah,
who fucking died in his hotel room from
or it's
natural
not like
causes, you know?
he got shot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sucks, you know. But they said that they're just still continuing on production of the movie,
Yeah, crazy, man.
unlike the
Unlike Rust, which
unlike the
is
movie, which is stopped.
shut.
Which I didn't realize. Jensen was it Jensen Ackles
Yes.
was going to be in that as well, or was in it as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which is actually not funny. Apropos, I guess. Like 2 days before the event, he was actually talking about gun safety.
yeah, I watched that as well. That's where I learned that he was in it, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't know
Hmm.
he was in this. I thought it was just some low budget Alec Baldwin movie.
Not
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, whatever. Speaking of low budget movies, did anybody watch Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin?
Not yet. I was waiting for Paige.
Yeah, I went and watched it.
And
It's it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a good movie either.
is it a good
Uh,
paranormal activity movie?
no, I wouldn't even say that.
Okay.
What the one thing that I was concerned about the most, because I talked about it before, is the camera work in it and how it looked too good to be a Paranormal Activity movie. But the way it's framed, it actually makes sense because it's more of a story about this girl who who wants to basically create a documentary about her finding her family because she was abandoned as a child in a hospital, so she didn't know anything about her mother or anything like that. And through an accidental, I think it was like a 23andMe type thing, she found her biological family, not necessarily her mother or her father, but her biological family, people that she's related to on there. So it was her and her friend documenting this uh, encounter because, especially learning that they're Amish people, was a real shock to her. So it was just her documenting it. So it made sense in the film why you would actually use such better cameras than you would in, like, for security camera wise in Paranormal Activity and whatnot. And some of the scenes are actually really well shot. They look really good. Um, Acting at the beginning, not great. Oddly enough, starts out in Scottsdale, Arizona. Uh, does not look like it was actually filmed in Scottsdale, Arizona, because there's like trees and green grass and stuff, and it looks like they filmed at a Denny's wherever they were, and literally just put cactuses on the table and outside of the window just to make it look Arizona-y. And then that
So
was it.
it was shot in the middle of fucking California with an Arizona vibe.
I wouldn't even say it was shot in California. It looks like it was shot somewhere in the Northeast because it looked like those types of trees rather than anything that you would have in Arizona.
Really nice and green.
Yeah, really nice and green grass and stuff. Uh, and apparently a Denny's that is facing like a neighborhood, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not Scottsdale. You're not gonna have a Denny's in in the middle of a neighborhood in Scottsdale, Arizona.
You never know, man. Scottsdale's a weird place.
Fair enough. Maybe somebody imported some sort of fancy tree into Scottsdale. That is true. They are Scottsdalians, whatever. Uh, but from there, it's a slow build. You have some genuinely good, like, tense scenes, but nothing really happens, really, until the last 20 minutes of the movie, where I feel like, at least in Paranormal Activity movies, the older ones, you had good, like, not necessarily even jump scares, but just good tension scenes showing like something there. Where here it's more of just like, I think I heard something, I'm gonna investigate. You don't really see anything, type of happenings. But I don't know. It's worth a watch. Like I said, it's not really good, but it's not bad whatsoever.
Well, that's good to
Apparently,
hear.
yeah. And the way it ends too, like, I thought it would end more like the other movies, and I'll say it doesn't. So I was kind of
Surprised?
happy about the ending, but
Okay.
obviously from the way it ends, I wasn't really entirely happy about it. But I think the way it ends, it also kind of opens it up for a sequel. But if they do a sequel, it'll be very much. It very much feels more like a like like something like Halloween has just ground into, where you end up having Jimmy Lee Curtis versus the evil Michael Myers. That's what it feels like if they went into a sequel. That's eventually what you would get out of it.
Well, that sucks, but also,
Yeah.
it's Paranormal Activity, so couldn't you get worse than a garage full of witches?
I'm gonna say expectations low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say with that too. Yeah, you don't get a garage full of witches. You're because I don't want to give away too much of the plot. I was happy with what they explained in it. I'll say so. Watch it, and we'll talk about it again.
All right.
But I was at least happy with what they presented uh, to me relatively. Doritos Diablo, are those like spicy nacho? Oh, chili and
So yeah,
spicy.
nice corn tortilla chips.
They're from Mexico.
Oh, so like they're
Are
real stuff.
all in Espanol.
They're real
Yeah,
spices,
dude.
not the fake American spices.
Yeah, like
What
the
did you
back
do?
is
Take a trip down.
the back is in Spanish or Mexican or whatever you want to call
I'll
it.
take your word for it because it's in blurry video to me.
Yeah, I know. They had to put a sticker on the back that's in English with the
Where'd you
nutritional
get it
stuff.
from?
So we're headed to Tucson, and we're like 12 feet from Mexico. But there was a gas station we stopped at. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 13 and a half feet from Mexico.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're one block north. But no, we stopped at one of the many fucking gas station whatever's to Jessica had to pee. And I just happened to be sitting there. I'm looking, and I was like, "What the hell is this orange bag of Doritos?" And I was like, "Chili and spices." Yeah, I'm like, "What?" And then I look, and I was like, "It says Diablo on it. I'm buying it. I don't even know how hot they are. I just want to buy them." So I haven't opened them yet, but the bag has
You're
chips.
open.
Well, I wanted to share with Paige, so
Some
I
people
went in.
just want their butt to burn.
Yeah. So
Toby is one of the people.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Speaking of shitty fucking hot sauce, so Joe and I talked about this when I was in North Carolina the first time. We went to the Pucker Butt Pepper Company store. So it's the store of the guy who created the Carolina Reaper.
Yep.
And I showed Joe the hot sauces that I bought on an audio podcast, which did really good for, I'm sure, listenership. Anyhow, the other day we before I left for Tucson, we were eating dinner. I don't even know what the fuck we're eating. I know it was ham and mac and cheese. And Paige's like, let's try some of these hot sauces, not like the super fucking dumb hot ones, because those we're waiting for the next hot ones challenge we're gonna do soon, hopefully. And so I was like, all right, cool. So she grabbed two of them. One was the voodoo, and one was the bacon one. The voodoo one is basically like a sriracha type sauce. And the bacon one's supposed to be some peppery bacon thing. Sriracha one, the voodoo one tastes like sriracha, but like not completely sriracha, but very sriracha-y. The bacon one tastes like butthole that lit my mouth on fire. It reminded me very much of the bomb.
Oh,
The taste was fucking terrible, and your mouth is just on fire. And I had a scotch. Then I was like, all right, I got to try this again. Like maybe I just fucked up, so I closed it. I shook the shit out of it, and it's thick as balls. I'm like, all right, shake. Then I pour out, but then I was like, all right, hold on, let me smell it. I smell it, still smelled like the bomb, and I was like, this isn't good. This went bad somehow. Poured a little bit on the plate, dipped some ham in it. Terrible. I was like, awesome. This hot sauce is fucking trash. And I was very upset about it because I was excited about it because it said bacon on it, and who doesn't like bacon? Well, except for pigs, I guess, don't really like bacon.
I'm pretty sure pigs like bacon. Pigs will pretty much eat anything.
That's
They're
true.
fucking the garbage disposals of the farm world.
They're like goats. But yeah, so that was disappointing, and that made me very upset that one of those is trash. Like, I get it. If it's hot and it tastes good, I'm down. Like, if it's too hot, obviously can't eat a lot of it without, bleeding from my rectum or whatever. But this one didn't taste good. It tasted like burning nickels.
It's gross.
Yeah, it was very bad. I was very upset about it.
You did a terrible job of describing this. It's certainly not selling it.
I'm not trying to sell. I'm trying to tell you not to fucking try it.
Sold me on not trying it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, I'm much convinced.
I'll bring it, and you guys can try some, and you'll be like, oh, this is terrible. Why would you have me try this? I was like, because I told you. And then you're like, you're not selling this well. And I was like, well,
I'm
fuck
not
you.
gonna try it, so you
Sorry.
can rest assured that shit's not happening.
It was bad. It was so gross. I was like, and that was one of the ones that was supposed to be one of the most popular ones there, and I was like, okay, y'all don't have taste buds apparently.
Apparently.
You just like to fucking burn your mouth holes. Anywho, so I thought it was a fun update. And it reminded me that I had the chippy chips right next to me.
Are there any other flavors there from Mexico, or was it just those? Was there any other thing there?
Yeah, there was the whole where this was at was a whole end cap of stuff of chips from Mexico. Some of them were they were Mexican brand chips. This one and there was a Lay's one which I don't remember what it was. It was like something like salted lime or some weird shit. And I was like, that doesn't sound good at all. It doesn't say Diablo and the chips aren't on fire. But then there was a whole section of like actual Mexican candy.
Oh, nice.
Not like, American Mexican candy.
No.
Like whole like the marzipan discs you get to have the roses on them. There was one that was shaped like a rose. Which I don't understand why their logo's a rose. Why this wasn't, but they had a bunch of different marzipan candies with different flavors. They had those weird gummy thingies that are like kind of like Twizzlers and stuff, but they're like supposed to be made of like weird cactus candy or whatever it is. Whole section of chiclets, which I thought was pretty funny because that's just trash gum in general.
It is. But it's trash gum that I fondly remember.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think that was really it, though. I saw it was just a bunch of it, and they had like a bunch of those like mango candies that are covered in like chili pepper or whatever. But I didn't want to get those because I didn't know how hot they were going to be, and while I'm driving, so I was like, maybe not.
That's true. You don't want to spice while driving. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. No one wants to shit their pants while driving to Tucson.
Shit your pants, hallucinate, whatever might happen.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly. Underrated Kevin Smith movie, leaving that. Oh, it's Zach and Miri make a porno. Gotcha. Okay. There was another news article I thought I saved. I'm going through my history, and it's not there. So it doesn't matter, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
All right.
Last thing I would like to talk about before we end this here, or recording. How about that Morbius trailer? Everybody watch that?
Yeah, I watched it multiple times.
Yeah, me too.
Multiple times.
Me too, buddy. Me too. What did you think, everybody? What happened? What was going through your brain when you watched it?
It looks dope as hell. I can't say that I've ever really read the comics and know too much about Morbius from that. I know mostly Morbius from the animated show in the mid 90s, whatever it was called, The Amazing Spider-Man or wherever it was. So at least from that, I know him more as like a bad guy. And in this, they seem to be presenting more of a not necessarily a good guy per se, but it's kind of like a misunderstood bad guy, I guess. I mean, I suppose he's still a good guy, but he has just like the ultimate urges to just fucking kill and rampage, rip and tear
True.
through people and whatnot. The things that got me the most, I will say, at least acting wise, looked really good, and the actual, the way it looked really cool, and his character design when he actually turns into more of a bat looking creature looks dope as fuck.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing you want to get at is the shit that they talk about in this trailer alone, and some of the stuff that you see in the background. Like, I'm sure I totally missed some stuff, but the stuff that I was like, okay, they have literally mentioned Venom by name in this trailer.
Yep.
So this obviously means that
crossover,
that it takes place in the Sony Venom universe.
Yeah, they announced that before.
But yeah,
which is also out of the Marvel Spider-Man universe. So,
and they have Michael Keaton, which was weird. Like the trailer, if you actually looked at the trailer's title on YouTube, it said like Morbius trailer 2 or something like that. Jared Leto, Michael Keaton, blah blah blah, and I was like, "Oh, are we going to see Michael Keaton in this trailer?" And he's, at least from what I saw, he's not in there. So I was like, "Why would you?"
What are you talking about? He's not in there.
He wasn't in. He was in there. Where?
He was in the very first Morbius trailer. At the very end.
First Morbius trailer.
But this man, he's in it. He's in it twice.
In this trailer.
He's in it
not
twice.
In this trailer.
Yeah, watch it again, dude. He's an old man in this. You got to remember, he looks like Adrian Toomes from fucking the Spider-Man movie. But he's in it. Michael Keaton is in that trailer. I guarantee you.
Did they give him some good makeup in there? Because I didn't recognize him.
Nah, you need to watch that more on your TV, not your phone.
I watched it on my TV multiple times because then I sent it to you guys. I guess I'll watch it again.
What a shame.
Anyway, the big weird thing though is that they have a picture. He's walking through an alley, and they have a mural or a picture in the background of Spider-Man, and it says "murder" across it. But immediately, I recognize that as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suit.
Sure looks like it.
No, it's definitely his. Because if you go and search for other nerds on the internet, literally found the picture.
I did.
And it's from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, it looks almost like the same shot from Spider-Man 1 poster, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it has murderer painted across it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but if that's the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where in the Marvel universe are we?
Well,
and what is going on?
So what's funny about that is for multiple things. Michael Keaton being in it and being in jail makes me think he's playing Adrian Toomes, because that's when we last saw him in any Marvel related anything. The poster that has murder scrawled on it that looks like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And then the fact that they name drop Venom. Well, they name drop him because he says, "I'm Venom," and he's like, "I'm just kidding." But there's a mention where one of the cops, I think it's Tyrese, says,
This is about as weird as the stuff in San Francisco.
exactly. Then in the newspaper, or is it newspaper?
Yes, the newspaper, the Daily Bugle,
Yes.
has the same logo in the Morbius trailer as it does in the Venom.
But it also
series.
talks about Venom's crime spree in San Francisco in the Daily Bugle.
Yeah,
as well as they mentioned the
but-
rhino, because there's a
Yeah.
rampaging rhino in there as well, so I thought was pretty funny.
Which is pretty funny because that then links, and that's one thing I didn't see in my watch through, but I read about later on. Because then that links Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man over, because that's the only time that the Rhino has appeared was in
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's.
Yep.
So what the fuck is going on in
Um,
the fucking Morbius movie that they're just connecting all the Spider-Mans together?
Well, just like Venom up until the spoiler, all of us have seen it, so it doesn't matter. Up until the post-credit scene or mid-credit scene of Venom 2, there was no mention of Spider-Man until I'm gonna guess the ripples of either one of two things happens: the multiverse opening up and obviously being a thing, and then the whole events of No Way Home, when Doctor Strange casts that spell and Peter fucks it up, and the multiverse gets all conjoined and whatever, and it starts bringing people over from other places because Venom now shows up in a place that's not his hotel room, that is his hotel room but not his hotel room, and sees a video of Spider-Man and is like, ooh, whatever. Then you have Morbius, which I'm going to guess is probably in a universe that is either the Venom universe or one that also has a Venom in it, but also has a Spider-Man in it.
So I would almost wonder, because I was thinking about this later on, since it is technically Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe had Venom in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's still like Morbius could take place in the Tobey Maguire Venom Tobey Maguire universe.
Yep.
And maybe the fact that he's called a murderer or something like that could just be coincidence, honestly. And the fact that they talk about Rhino could be coincidence as well.
Because Rhino's
You know,
a villain in any
a
Spider-Man
villain.
universe.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to say that you would also have a Vulture in that universe that would literally could look like Michael Keaton, because it's just a universe that's akin to it's just a multiverse.
Yep.
Similar things can happen in it. So it's not too far-fetched to say that Morbius could be taking place in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man universe.
It's very true. But we don't know. But and we don't know if we don't know if it's the same Venom, but I would think it would be pretty cool if it was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe, because we did have Venom, and then Adrian Toomes could be Adrian Toomes from any dimension or any multiverse that you have in there. But yeah, that was cool, and I sent you that picture because I remember in the first trailer they showed that poster, and I was like, because at first I remember watching it for the first time in the first trailer, and I was like, is that the Velocity suit from the Spider-Man game? Because like Sony obviously has the video game that, and I was like, that'd be really strange. And this time I was rewatching it on the real fucking trash TV this hotel room has, Panasonic TV. Then I went back to watch it on my iPad because for some reason my iPad is tremendously better than the television in this room. And I was like scrolling through, I was like nitpicking. I was just like going for details, and I'm looking at that poster, I'm like, screenshot, zoom in, I'm like, all right, let's look at this. And I was like scouring the internet for pictures of Tobey Maguire's, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that looks like Tobey Maguire's suit for sure, because it has like the fingers have like rings on them from the webbing, because the webbing's on the outside of the suit, and like his eyes are way bigger and different shaped than Andrew Garfield's. So I'm like, I don't know, because he's posed more like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man did, but the suit and the shape of everything looked very Tobey Maguire.
I think the reason why I recognized it pretty much immediately as being like that's Tobey Maguire's because I remember when Best Buy used to have those giant signs for when movies come out. It was like the 4 panel signs.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those from Spider-Man 3, I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
where you have the Venom suit in the reflection,
Yep.
and it looks like the way it's shot, colors, everything, the way the suit looks, at least the Spider-Man suit, looked exactly like that one in there, and that's why I was like, that's fucking Tobey Maguire's suit, but that's fucking weird to have it there and say murderer on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that trailer was pretty dope, and the fact that they show off his powers a lot in it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they did showcase quite a bit of what he can do.
Because I was worried they're gonna just basically make him like, you know, a fucking.
I will say though,
vampire.
the flying looked awful. They better fix that. That looked like fucking CGI ragdoll, just like thrown through the air.
Well, it's because it's
Just
rippled
darted
from
through
the.
the air. It just looked so fucking bad.
Yeah, it
They
wasn't.
need
It
to
wasn't
fix
the
that.
best for sure. But you
Yeah.
know, they did that weird effect where like it's like rippling because he's technically not. He's flying, but he's not. It doesn't matter.
The way I took that is like he can sense the movement of the air, and so that's how he flies. Is that he can sense like the weird air currents and catch them in a way that allows him to fly. But that's the way I took that scene.
No,
It might not be like
sonar.
that.
It's
Yeah, it's his sonar
Yeah.
that he can like, but the way that it was presented, it just felt like he can see the air currents and stuff, and that's how he could like use that to fly. And that scene just looked awful. It just looked fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was not great. At
So you
all.
liked it quite a bit.
The,
One of your
the rest of it, I totally really enjoyed, but that one scene there looked complete garbage.
Yeah, no, I agree. It did not look good. I don't know what they were doing with it, but it was not the best. But anyhow, yeah, Taj, any comments on that? What game are you playing, by the way?
Fucking Joe said it all. Mr.
Well-
Mr. Mycog over there had all the points. I got none.
You have a microphone too, but don't be trying to blame him for your inability to speak properly.
technically, and really, whatever technicalities.
Technicalities.
No, other than to say that it looks really good and I look forward to seeing it, I would agree with Joe on pretty much all of that.
As I try and look it up right now, which comes first, the new Spider-Man movie or Morbius?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And when does Morbius come out then? Probably next year?
January 28th. January 28th, 2022.
Okay.
People are saying, "Oh, Morbius is going to show up in the Spider-Man movie." Doubt it.
No, doubt it.
Doubt it.
The only thing I could see is that they hint at something towards the end that would just link then over to Morbius. But if you've already announced the film and you've already have multiple trailers now, I don't see you getting anything more than that.
It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. Unless you name drop them at one point, that's it.
Well, it all
not
depends because, what's interesting is the timing of this. If this is an origin of Morbius, we don't know. Obviously, we don't know a timeline or where it falls in the timeline because it could be before certain events. It could be before Venom transitions over to Tom Hardy's Venom transitions over to the the Marvel Cinematic Universe or vice versa, whatever you want to call it. But also, the movie's gonna have a time jump because he goes from being sick and then being cured, and there's some kind of time travel or not time travel, time.
I don't know.
Time
He could
expansion.
fall asleep one day and wake up the next day with the powers. That's what they did in pretty much every Spider-Man film.
In this trailer, they
Lived in fucking bed for weeks. Nah, fam. He got bit. The next day he woke up and he had superpowers and sick abs.
except for in this trailer, they tell you that's not what happens. But yes,
That was the only thing that he was sick.
What is the
After he
name?
got bit by the bat, he
There's a
got sick
name.
ab.
There's a name for his fucking flying powers, and I'm trying to find it. It's driving me goddamn insane. Hold on.
How is there a name for his flying powers?
Because it's
called flight.
no,
So it's something unique.
aha
It's
transvection.
I'm sorry, it's called bullshit. Whatism?
Transvection, which enables him to navigate wind currents and glide for great distances. So he's not flying. That's
He's
why it looks that way.
transvecting. So he's using
It's like levitation.
heat or some sort of air currents caused by.
Bullshit.
Is it bullshit science, or is this actual sciencey words?
No, it's a fancy word for levitation.
So it's comic booky.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a comic book
Yeah,
movie.
but no,
Joe.
I want to know. I'm trying to understand. Is this like a real world thing that they are using to explain it,
Yeah, it's
or
a
is this-
form of levitation.
or is this he is Superman and runs off fucking the sun type of explanation? That's all I'm wondering.
Did
No.
you say he fucked the sun? Because that is concerning.
Why? What, you jealous that he can fuck the sun and you can't?
I mean, I'm kind of jealous.
See? Boom, there you go.
I don't even know how to answer that without it sounding gay.
How do you spell transvection?
TRANV or TRANSVECTION.
A lot of letters. That's all I heard.
Yep.
No, because there was another one that was transvection that was very similar to this. Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. Transvection refers to a special class of genetic complementation of mutant alleles on homogeneous chromosomes.
Wow.
I don't see anywhere in here where it mentions it make you fly E.
It make you fly, E?
I don't think it does actually in there, because that would be weird. I don't think anyone talks like that. It's not really flying per se. I mean, it is, but it's not.
Okay. Apparently, Britannica.com cites it as transvection or occultism, also known as witch levitation.
Yeah, see?
Which levitation?
Told you it was levitation.
So then what was this article about?
I don't know.
There's a special class of genetic complementation of mutant alleles on homogeneous chromosomes, revealing views that regulatory DNAs located on one homolog can regulate the transcription unit on the other homolog in trans. Okay.
Yep, that's what I said.
Yeah.
What paper is this from? Nope, it's just literally labeled transvection. Huh. All right. So it has multiple meanings, apparently. Even though if I read this, it probably is like they're using the terminology to relate something in the mythical world to something here, like some sort of floating or
Levitation.
levitation, but within whatever these things are.
It's a comic book movie, so it doesn't have to actually be real science. And he's a living vampire
No,
that
no.
has healing skin.
I
Lets him walk around in
Totally
the
am
sun.
not saying that. I'm totally not saying that it has to be real science. I was wondering if it was based on
Real science.
some sort of real science.
I wouldn't say science
That's
per
what
se.
I was wondering if it was.
Nah, it's
If
just
the terminology meant something, because they do like to take things, quantum, it's a real science thing, and then make it non-sciencey stuff. That's what I was wondering.
all I know is they're making a movie where a guy is a living vampire and he's flying through the subway or something.
And he's good bad.
He's an
bad.
anti-hero. He's just like Venom's an anti-hero. He still eats.
I was gonna say it's
people.
very much a Venom type of.
Venom didn't just eat bad people at first. He, might have hurt some good people, like that whole scene with the cops in the first movie. Not all of those cops might be bad. Some of them are probably bad. But in this one he slices the throats of a couple people, might drink a couple innocent people's blood. Who knows? You can't fault him. A hungry animal will do what it needs to eat. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, can you not fault him? I mean, you could.
And you can fault him. Like, there's definitely fault to be had there. You kind of did this to yourself, turned yourself into a bat thing.
Sort of by accident. The guy who did it on purpose, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he's in it, and he does it on purpose.
Man Bat's in it?
No, that's a different franchise, sir. Like, drastically different franchise. And it's not Batboy either from the tabloids. You do see this person in that new trailer. I'm not going to tell you who it is. And it's not Michael Keaton. Anyhow, that's it, I believe, for this here episode of Comes Naturally. And just to say you know who we are. We are...
Joe.
I'm Cody, and we were joined by...
Taj.
I'm trying to point at Taj, but...
Over there.
I'm right here.
Yeah, see? That's me. That's me pointing at you.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right there. Blump,
No,
blump,
here.
blump.
Right.
Cody's there. Right
Blup.
there. Tosh right there. Cody's there.
Actually, speaking of being right there, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
See ya.